Hey everybody, we are back at the Hurricane HQ, and in this video, what we'll be doing is taking a look at all of the current invests in the Atlantic Ocean, and one that possibly could even become a hurricane and affects the North America. So let's get started. So we are back at the Hurricane HQ for our 7:10 p.m. tropical update on August 7th, 2020. And our current news is we actually have a possible hurricane, which will be coming up in probably in the next week or two. We could possibly see a hurricane. Right now, this area has a 70% chance of developing in the next 5 days, and a 20 or 30% chance in the next 2 days. So we'll definitely have to watch that. And today's comment is still no new comments. I actually kind of had a mix-up with the comments. I forgot to add in live stream comments, and for some reason, it's not letting me review those. And I'm sorry if you guys are commenting in live stream and I'm not putting them on the videos, but I'll try and figure out how to get them. So that problem will probably usually be resolved in the next few days. So here's our Atlantic disturbances in the next 5 days, brought to you by the National Hurricane Center. And as you can see, we have two areas to watch. This area is a medium chance, and it's already in its area of development, so it could develop anytime, although it's most likely going to develop a little bit later as it continues to move westward. While over here, this area, this disturbance too, is very high chance of developing. I believe is 70% chance as of 2 o'clock today. And I believe there'll be an update to that at 8 o'clock, I believe. So you can all check out the NOAA website or even our channel's website. I'll leave the link in the description. And here's our current 7 p.m. Atlantic Basin image. And as you can see, we have our tropical waves over here. And this one, they both have a very similar chance of developing. Although this one has a significantly higher in the next 5 days than this one. And this one is most likely going to develop. It's a 70% chance and most likely going to increase over the next few days. Also up here we have post-tropical cyclone Kyle, and over here we have post-tropical cyclone Josephine. And here's our average forecast tracks for August, and this is brought to you by NOAA. And as you can see, those tropical waves start over here and usually either head this way, south of Cuba, and hit the Gulf, and the other ways usually head up the East Coast. And here's the Hurricane HQ forecast from earlier, and as you can see, this circular area is most likely we're going to see all that tropical wave activity, and most likely they're going to develop by the time they get around south of Cuba, or probably around Puerto Rico and northwest of that. And this is most likely our average tracks for this season. I don't expect too many storms to go through Florida, which one of the official tracks were showing, although I think primarily into the Gulf and up the East Coast are the most prevalent. We'll also probably see a few storms head up even near Bermuda and into the mid-Atlantic Ocean around here. That is also kind of common, and sometimes they don't even affect land. Whoops. And now we're going to take a look at our official NOAA forecast, and as you can see, they both have a low chance in the next 2 days. This one has a 20%, and this one has a 30%. Not much of a difference there, although this one right here has a 70% in the next 5 days, while this one has a 50% chance in the next 5 days. So this one has significantly higher chances of developing in the next 5 days than this one. Although I'm kind of sure that they're both going to develop. I'm kind of certain of that, although you can never really be sure. So definitely things to watch. Disturbance 2 we have here. It's not as organized as it has to be, although most likely it will get more organized. Same with the other one. And this is as of 2 p.m. The next update will be at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And now we're going to take a look at the Eastern Pacific Ocean, where we have a lot of activity there. Here is Hurricane Gingivive. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Sorry if I'm not. And right now, it is a hurricane. I'm not sure exactly what it is right now, although we do have tropical storm watches issued for south of Baja California. So definitely something to watch, especially for the very south part near Mexico. Tropical storm watch means there's probably going to be a tropical storm warning issued. And all that, the only reason it's not a hurricane watch yet is because it's not forecasted to have a direct hit or anything near that, although they're saying tropical storm force strength in that area is possible and maybe even likely if it does stick to this determined cone. Also, if it does, which it has moved slightly, if it does track to even make landfall on Baja California, I believe hurricane warnings will be issued almost immediately. So right now we're just sticking to those watches, although just be prepared to see if anything more happens, especially anyone watching this in Baja California. And as you can see here, this is our tropical storm force wind, and the smaller area is hurricane force. And this tropical storm force winds will get larger as it moves into major hurricane status. And the hurricane will also get larger, but most likely this will cover the entire area of Baja California as it passes by. And that's why they have that tropical storm watch issued. Here's our arrival times of winds in tropical storm force. Here's most likely. And as you can see, it even shows these winds reaching all the way over to the very western Mexico area. And we're going to do several different extreme weather live streams on this system as it affects this area. And the channel, it is mostly for the Atlantic, although if anything major happens in the Pacific, we'll cover it. It is the Hurricane HQ after all, and this is definitely something to watch. And we're going to put on that 5-day wind speed probabilities, and they are 90 to 100% chance all the way up to here, but they still remain high all the way until around Thursday 8 p.m. And again, as the storm moves that way, it will most likely get higher, those chances. The only reason they're not higher is because, they're not exactly sure what's going to happen at that point. And here's our wind history, and finally we can see that hurricane force wind slipping in to the center of the tropical storm force bands. And we're probably going to see this continue overnight. And in our next video tomorrow morning, we'll be covering exactly what's happening, although possibly it could even become a major hurricane by then. So this is definitely something to watch. So now we're going to take a look at our windy forecast for the system. And as you can see, according to the ECMWF, for right now, we're seeing winds probably up to around 55 miles per hour. Although the GFS shows very different, and the GFS is actually showing 78 miles per hour, which is officially Category 1 status hurricane. And I, in this situation, believe the GFS is correct because this pressure of the storm is kind of low, and I believe that it is a hurricane. Now we're going to head over to our wind gusts in the ECMWF, and they're showing gusts up to hurricane force. So we're seeing hurricane force gusts at least. And let's take a look at the GFS model. The GFS model is showing wind gusts of around 91 miles per hour, and I think up to 95 is actually possible with the system. And as we move a little bit later, we can see up to like 100 miles per hour a little later into the night or early morning hours. And now we're going to take a look at our clouds right now, according to the GFS. And GFS is showing like 98% cloud cover in these areas, even around 100%. So definitely something to watch. I wouldn't say clouds are a problem, although if this does have any impacts really anywhere, then I guess clouds won't play a part in it. But now we're going to take a look at our waves. Now waves is where we really start to feel this, and according to the ECMWF WAM, we have waves up to 23 feet. We can even see a little circulation in these waves, and with the Wave Watch 3, this is quite interesting. So we are actually seeing winds near the eye of the system of around 40 feet, which is completely crazy, especially if this made landfall. Although the reason they don't usually talk about the wave height with these storms is because it's not really, it's like, it's hard to explain, but with the storm surge, when it's pushing and all the water under sea level is being pushed towards land, then the water levels, or the sea surface levels, they kind of decrease as this water moves towards the coast and it gets more shallow. And once this water just hits right to that shallower area, it can't push forward anymore. It has to go up, and that's what caused that major flooding. And usually these 40-foot waves, and with all these major hurricanes and even smaller hurricanes, you don't really hear about it much because the storm surge is more of the main threat, and it kind of gets diluted from the storm surge because you don't really hear about it, and it's not really the worst thing going on. And here's our sea surface temperatures, and right now it's in very warm water, and by the time it hits around Baja California, more northern area of it, the water starts to decrease in temperature, and that is kind of where we're going to see that weakening of the system. Now, this area of the Pacific is kind of, it's not as warm as it usually could be, or I shouldn't say usually, but it's not as warm, and a lot of times the sea surface temperatures are warmer. And around here in the Atlantic, we could see these waters are quite warm all the way up, all the way near by East Maryland. We could see that warm water, even fueled by the Gulf Stream. Sorry about that. And this Gulf Stream really does bring water all the way up, and that's kind of where that warm water ends. Although that is definitely fueling this area. And now we're going to take a look at our, let's see, our precipitation levels. And now we're going to take a look at our areas of investigation and tropical waves around here. We can just see our rain and thunder amounts. I believe this is the amount of rain falling, where that has falls. Here's our rain accumulation, and we could see rain accumulations of around 10 inches around here. And even in this area, up to like 17 inches. And here's our thunderstorm map. Although I don't really like to use this, it's not as good, but it's something. And now I would like to jump right over to our tropical tidbits for Hurricane Gingivive. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. We're going to take a look at our spaghetti models. Here's the global models. And as you can see, a lot of them make that turn towards the coast a little bit. And that's why those tropical storm watches are up right now. And if you don't know what tropical storm watch is, it's basically telling you to get ready. Possibly tropical storm conditions are on the way, and you should begin to prepare. Don't instantly say we have to board up the windows and all that until that's clear. Just get your plan ready, and once a tropical storm warning's up, that's when to prepare and to get everything you need for the tropical storm. And with hurricane, same with that. Just depends on the category and the strength. And we're looking at our pressure here. And this actually shows it getting quite strong around here, up to like 960 millibars at its peak around here. And it slowly starts to weaken, although this model takes it a little bit more westward and still shows it getting to that 960 millibar. And that's quite powerful. I believe that's around Category 4, depending on the system. So this is definitely something to really watch, and we'll be covering more of this in the next few days. And here's our Canadian model. And the Canadian model isn't always as accurate as the others, but it's always something good to look at. And they really do split. Some go closer and some go farther, although the Canadian model actually shows it decreasing in strength a little bit, and doesn't show it actually as strong as it is right now. So definitely something interesting to look at. And here's our intensity guidance, and most of these models actually have it hitting Category 3, and a lot of them even Category 4. So none of them are showing Cat 5, but Category 4 possible. And if this did make landfall in Baja California, that would not be good. So we have to watch this very carefully for that area. And possibly some impacts in the United States, even Southern California, if it does change course. And I think I'm going to end this video here. Again, I'm sorry everybody that I haven't been giving everybody credit for their comments in the live stream chat, but I'll try and fix that over the next few days, and hopefully your comments will be in our next videos. So thank you all for watching, and I guess I'll see you in the next one. Stay safe, and make sure you subscribe and ring the bell.